Here I am. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. Okay. Let's see. Oh, that didn't go on. Oopsie. As bright as I wanted to. Yeah. Hold on. I thought that was brighter. I don't know if I like this lipstick. Hi. Doing my lipstick. Oh, there, that's better. That's a better color. It's a wee bit better color. I'm gonna get pink everywhere. I gotta remember not to touch my mouth. Oh, the dog thought I was calling her. No, I'm not. Go lie down. Good morning, everybody. And happy birthday, Charlene. So I'm always amazed. This because my routine is so different than other people in the morning and the things I do and stuff. I'm amazed at how many people like 'cause I get little dings, like ding, 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 ding on my phone. And I sort of glance at it. I don't open things up. I try not to open my phone till about closer to 9 o'clock and answer anything unless I absolutely have to answer something or something comes through. But I'm always amazed because my routine is so different. And I do have an app that I use for different meditations and things like that I do in the morning. Plus, I have some stuff on YouTube that I do. So I try not to get distracted by other things that are coming in. And it is a discipline because it's so easy to like, oh well, what do they want? Or what did they send me? Oh my God, gotta look at that. And it's and my because I really feel that the outside world is such a distraction to us and pulls us in so many ways. And I really, really try. I try to keep myself as centered as I can. But it's looking at the astrology today, um, it's uh, this. I mean, just even going into the weekend from the 15th to the 21st. This is radical. Um, we're in like some it's like kickoff time of the football game, and it's a football game with no rules, it feels like. The cycle of the planets, relate to us here on Earth and how they correlate and stuff like that. And I so it's just so much going on. I just like I'm trying to center myself to like, okay, I gotta focus on this because there's so much coming through on, because so much critical energies and frequencies that are coming in right now, and people are feeling shook to the core. And it's very sensitive. There's a sensitivity there, especially with Venus. And Venus is, at this sensitive degree. And where is she? Where are you, Venus? Venus coming into this very sensitive time. And she was with Mercury, and Mercury's going to be heading back into Leo. And I mean, this Mercury retrograde is a typical crazy Mercury retrograde where old loves are coming into people's lives. Um, things, contracts that you've been working on aren't aren't coming through, missed appointments, computer glitches, all kinds of things, especially because I mean, it was, going through Virgo, and Virgo can be a very harsh ness when it's getting Mercury. Mercury's trying to get you to look at a lot of things that are going on in your life, right? And this Venus energy wants you to come into and really take a look at. Now the other part too with this Mercury retrograde, it's bringing in everything to do with um disease, illnesses. And we're seeing that too where Neptune is. Neptune in Pisces is the opposite, right? And we have this opposition going in. So we have all of this craziness that is coming in. I mean, I was going to write yesterday about the WHO, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm not even going to give them my time of day. Excuse my language. Don't want to get anybody offended with that. But, with what they're coming out and saying, and now there has been another huge outbreak with listeria. And it's like, oh my gosh, all of this, is coming up and is stirring up. And I can see it in the astrology, with information coming in and Mercury's bringing it out, right? And where Pluto is at that 0 degrees, it's just like just ready to tip back into Capricorn. It's going to stir up all of that shit that we thought we were over. We thought we were done with, and it's like, how many people are going to be duped by the craziness that is going to be stirred up by this again, right? We thought that we were past all of this bullshit, but it's going to be coming back, but it's going to be repackaged into something else, right? And it's going to be thrown at us in some crazy, crazy illusional way, right? And this is where it's like coming back to where because we're at a sensitive degree, this is major events, and especially where Jupiter is, because Jupiter is only going to go up to like 21 degrees and then go retrograde. So it's coming into its slow phase and slowing down because it's going to retrograde next month. So this is like, this time where we're at like these degrees where Pearl Harbor was bombed, Hiroshima, craziness. So this is energy that's coming into the Pacific Ocean and is stirring. So this is stirring in the ocean. And I could, this energy that's coming through is really bringing forth and they said transactions, but I got like, okay, what are the transactions that are happening in the ocean? So the ocean is causing, where there are going to be earthquakes and cyclones or, disruptions within the ocean. So there's a lot to do, and especially where Neptune is at the very end, and it's just starting to hit these degrees of craziness. And this is where it's coming into, and there's a point, and this is in Vedic astrology. It's called the Mula, which isn't money, but that is the god of destruction. And it's hitting these points of these crazy transformations and destructions that are coming in. So we're going to come into a lot of health scares. Things are going to start being heated up with this. And we're going to start, it's going to get plastered everywhere. We're going to start seeing it on different feeds and everything that we get, like whether it's on your whatever feed you're on, doesn't matter what social media, you're going to start hearing about this, right? And then with this Mercury and Saturn, or Saturn, Mercury and Venus, it's like this communication, it's to communicate, and it's serious. This is bringing up serious discussions. Serious discussions are coming up, and having those discussions. So we got these world leaders that are having serious discussions on what the next moves are, and where they're plotting, what are they starting to do. I'm just like, there is this crazy energy that's there within, and especially in and around Putin. So and the south node being in Libra, I feel like he's really trying to hold back, but there's a force that's going to be coming out of there. And it's going to be, of course, it's, Russia's known as the bear. So there's a force of the bear. There's a force of this strength that we have not witnessed yet is going to be coming in, and it's not going to be taking too long. So major disruptions. I mean, I know you guys are like, oh, here she comes, they're doom and gloom, but that's where the frequencies are. It's like, we're going to get through this, but it's these devastating actions that are coming forth and that are happening at this time. So this is like a very hot and troubled summer really, and things shaking up, especially when it comes to major disruptions and earthquakes and things along that line, in and around the world. And this is, we need to look at what we need personally, and that's, whether it's lots of rest, for me, it's like one of the crazy things. I've had people, "Oh, I want to book a reading. How much is it?" And then I get ghosted. Like they don't even respond back. And it's like, "Okay, fine." And it's like, "Okay." So I don't chase people like, "Oh, well, it's like, "Okay, whatever." Send them the reply, and I'm really good at getting back to people. Like, I will get back to you in less than 24 hours. I pride myself on that. I try to. I have had a glitch in my with some of the appointments I've had, and people have gone disappearing. But anyways, that's a whole nother story. But when it comes to me responding, so I don't know if there's a glitch on their side, so I just have to wait for the response, right? So I can send it out, I can give the information that they asked for, and then just wait for the response, and that's what I have to do. I can't go chasing people. That's not, it doesn't work for me. Anyways, it just causes, sometimes it causes more problems than what it's worth. So anyways, so I've had a lot of people coming in wanting to book, and then I don't hear anything from them, or they want the information and stuff. And I don't have a website anymore. It's still under construction. Um and the other reason I don't have, it's another cost came up in getting my website up, and I'm just like, fuck it. I'm not doing it, because it just seems like an endless one thing after another thing after another thing after another thing. So I have to, when I get a little bit more stabilized, I think I'm going to go with the one with Square, and reboot that one back up again, and just pay the 35 or $40 a month to do it, because it's so much easier than trying to go to these other ones, because it's just, I find there's always another cost, another cost, another cost, another cost. And then they try and get them to do it, and then that's another cost within itself. So I just don't have an endless supply of gold um, in my treasury. There's no gold in my treasury. The gold is gone. So yeah. So anyways, I don't have uh, a website at this time, which is fine. Like, I'm not even, whatever. But going back to this, it's about looking at um the disruptions and everything. And I don't know about you. I mean, I try and be happy and joyful, and bring forth a lot of positivity, like try to. But I know for myself, it's a lot. Like, these frequencies are really weighing on me a lot, because I just got another, for me, like, there's just another notice that came through, and I'm just, of something we have to pay. And I'm just like, where did this come from? It's like an endless row of shit that just keeps coming in, and feeling that heaviness. And this is where, people can go. People can go, and yeah, it is very taxing, it is very overwhelming, and you can get into that fog brain, which is very Neptunian. So where Neptune is, can bring in that fogginess, bring in that whole my and bring in the nine of swords, like, oh fuck, everything is going, and I have no control over my life anymore, and whatever other worries come in. And then get to the ten of swords, where it's like, fuck, I'm not doing this anymore, right? I'm done. Ten of swords. I'm done. But you can't put another sword in my back. So I'm between the nine and the ten of swords right now, where craziness that's coming into the ten of swords. Like, go ahead, put another one in my back. I don't like. There's nothing more I can fucking do. And I feel like for a lot of people, it's like you can take this and, like, oh my God, what did I do in my past? And start to rekindle shit that has happened in your past. Like, oh, was I a bad person? Did I shouldn't have said that to that person. Or maybe I wasn't, oh, maybe I'm just not good enough. Like all of these things can come through our mind, especially when things aren't going the way we would like them to go. And when I look at, the pressures of this, of the energies that are coming in from the astrology, where, by the end of the weekend, I feel like, where the moon is, and the moon is this declaration within the side of us, it's in a space and in opposite of a declaration of war. Like, I'm just like, you know, so this is where it's like, this is where, things coming in where you think who is running for the Democrat Party isn't really running for the Democrat Party. She hasn't been elected to run, right? So she's just running on somebody else's backside, right? And we know whose backside that is. And this is like things coming up where we think it is a certain way, we're going to find that it's not. And that's where the hysteria can come in. Like the hysteria is there and it's just winding its way through everything. And as crazy and as nutty as this is where we're going to have the radical shifts that are going to come in, especially where Uranus and Pluto, and they deal with government changes. So there's going to be some huge radical government changes that are going to be coming in this week, and coming in with troubles in the water, as I say. So we're at these critical craziness of frequencies. So it's so important for us to find those points where, instead of going to a place of, oh, woe is me or whatever, change it is like, oh, what love I am. And this is like a huge challenge that is coming forth in order for us to stay grounded and focused. I know there's a lot, yeah, if you need to break down and if you need to cry, if you need to let it out, definitely do that. Don't keep it all inside. It's really not worth it, because it's just going to cause more of a stirring inside of you. And this is where, especially where things come into that sixth house. This is sixth house. This is, that Virgo house. It's like fights and house issues and attacks and things to do with disease and illnesses that come up. And where Venus is, and I feel like she's, not happy there. She's trying to do her best. And Mercury's no help at all because he's retrograde and just going to pop into Leo just now. And that's going to stir up a whole thing when it comes to trying to shine your light, trying to come out, trying to be the person you want to be. And it's like, oh, you're hitting this wall. Oh, you're hitting this other fucking wall. And you're just like, fuck off. Like, fuck off with it all. I'm tired of it. So the storm is there, and Neptune with that fogginess, and this is, so it's people not really people are trying to come from a place of joy, but they're not really coming from a place of joy. They're having that difficulty. And the most important thing is that you got to admit it. You got to admit, okay, you know what? I'm having a hell of a time here. This is like overwhelming for me. So finding that place or that outlet that you can go to, finding that connection you can have with, who you need to have with, and allow that outage that you need. And it's so important to be aware of what is going on, because the disease and the fighting is just, it's going to be escalating over the next, through the rest of this month. And we're only on the 14th of August, and then going into September. And I know I did a whole thing on Mercury retrograde a while ago and the craziness with Mercury retrograde. Well, here we are. We're in the throes of it. So finding that centeredness, finding that grounding is important. Finding the outlets that you need is important. This is where it's a good day to go to the movies. Like, time out, I'm going to the movies, going to get my popcorn, just going to sit, just finding that place where you could just sort of like, I need a place of peace and serenity. I need a place where I can go and find sanctuary. and finding that place of sanctuary. And when we can do that, this is where, okay, we can get through to the next. We can get through to be open for the information that can come through to us, and allow ourselves to come into it with discernment and understanding, and coming into a place where we can have hope and bring that hope up. And with that hope, we can have that faith will start to come forth, and with the faith, the love. So this is really a challenging energies, and I've been saying that for a while, but I'm going to say we have now hit the storm. We have now hit the storm, and and we are in the midst of, what are we going to do? Are you going to go fight the tidal wave? Or are you going to say, fuck it, I'm going over here because I know there's some retreat over here. I'm going to go over to this shore, and I'm going to hunker down to where I can and find that peace and sanctuary. Or am I going to go head on to the tornado or the tidal wave? Right? And this is where it's like, okay, no, I got to find the place for the peace and the sanctuary. I got to find the place and hold and become humble, and hold, that humility, and come to a place where the humility is, and say, you know what? Yeah, okay, I'm going to go over here because I can't fight this. I need to, and that could be, oh, I need to have help with this. I need to talk to somebody because I'm having a mental breakdown, or I need food. So I need to talk to somebody over here about some food, right? These could be the crisis, instead of being the tidal wave and going to the tidal wave. Well, I can fight this all on my own. And then you find that, well, no, the fuck, I can't. And then you're in the midst of being overwhelmed with too much. And that's where you don't want to go. And that's where you don't want to be. Right? So honor yourself where you are right now, and don't try and fight the tidal wave. Okay? Don't try and be that so-called hero, because that's not being a hero, right? Because there's the hand of God that's coming in to help so many people, and you just have to have the humility and the humbleness to say, okay, I need that help. Right? So I can go forward from here, and taking those steps. Whew. Lots there, baby. The one thing I will say, if Trudeau does pass something, and I know it's the taxpayers' money and blah, 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 I understand that when it comes to the medical. But for people who are diabetic to get their medication for free, honestly, I know some, my husband's type 2 diabetic, but I know a lot of type 1 diabetics, and the amount of money they have to pay for their insulin is just crazy, and they shouldn't have to. So I think something like that over giving somebody free drugs of a hallucinogenic drug to escape, instead of giving somebody who actually needs the medication, if they don't get the medication, they'll die, for free. I think that's better. That's money better well spent. That's just my opinion, though. So the card that came out was the Six of Spring, which is the Six of Fire. So this is telling me wonderful news is on its way. Wonderful things are happening. Great celebration is coming in. So that came in. So success. And with that comes in the Hermit. So that is the time of reflection. Finding those moments, those breaks that you need from social media, the world around you. Taking those breaks and allowing for some time for spiritual growth. And I feel it's very important to find those places where you can breathe and where you can really step forward into it. And letting go, here comes the Queen of Winters. This is the Queen of I don't give a fuck. She can be very harsh, but she's also It's time to focus on what you need to focus on in your life to get forward, to go forward in your life, whether that's your career, whether that's what is it that you need to go forward with? What do you need to let go with? Because in order for you to celebrate and come within, you need to look at what is it that I need to let go of and what no longer serves me, so I can focus on the things that do serve me and bring forth those for my highest good. And then this is like really taking those step by step by step, because remember, Jupiter and Gemini makes things go crazy. And without, I didn't even touch on the Jupiter Mars conjunction, which is going to go Harry Carey, right? Because I think they're just right on top of each other right now. So it's taking that time, and here comes the king. So the king is bringing in the balance for the queen of saying, okay, we're going to get some good advice in what we need to do and in the direction that we need to go into, and take those steps forward, and move forward on that. So I like again to thank everybody who's been trying to get me a job. I do start back at the community center next month, the first week of next month. I'll be working twice a week, 10 hours a week, 10 hours a week. So I'll be working every Wednesday and Friday evening at the rec center. So thank you, everybody. I still put out my resumes and stuff like that. I fluffed it up a little bit recently. But yeah, it is. I mean, for those who are looking for work, it is a challenge right now, to find that work. And I know it's a challenge for a lot of people. And even though places are advertising, it's funny, just going off this. I know even though people are advertising, it doesn't seem that they're hiring, because a lot of places that said that they're advertising for a job, um, that position or that post is still up 3 or 4 months later. It's crazy. So, anyways, sending you guys out so much love. May the Lord and Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you in all that you say and all that you be and all that you do. Have a blessed day and enjoy. Take a mental day if you need to, and reach out where you need to reach out, and that's important as well. So, oh yeah, yeah, a lot of times, yeah, crazy. Anyways, have a good one. Let's